Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
We're here, Clark.
And this is show number 42. The Dogs are 10-0.
And SEC East champs, baby.
That's it.
It never gets old, Clark. Winning the East, man, and getting to go to Atlanta. Just all of us Georgia fans, Clark, who remember days where we were longing to get back to Atlanta, man. We had a big gap from 05 to 11. I remember that 6-year run was just like, oh, we're never going to get back there. And then from 12 to 17 was a 5-year gap. And now it's an annual thing almost, man.
Yeah.
You don't count the COVID year. And it's almost an annual thing these days, man. And it's amazing. Another 10-win season, Clark. Another 10-0 start for the second year in a row, going 10-0, man. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable, too, Clark, the program, what we have done this century, this millennium, how many 10-win seasons that's been accumulated. We're blessed. We're a spoiled fan base, man. And it's not slowing down anytime soon.
It
not
really
slowing down. I have to pinch myself. I told somebody that last night, that you have to absolutely pinch yourself to see what is happening with this football program right now. And you know what the best part about it is, Clark?
What?
They're young and they haven't played their best football yet.
That's it.
That is amazing. That is amazing. That is unbelievable. You know how many teams want to trade places with where Georgia is? Every single Division I team in the nation, baby.
Yeah. Even Alabama,
man. Yes, sir, even Alabama.
Would like to be us right now.
Absolutely. With the future, the trajectory, man, it's unreal. Unreal. But SEC East champs going back to Atlanta, man, but still got, two more games of business we got to take care of. But sitting pretty. I don't think anybody thought that it was going to be this good after coming off of last year. But here we are again. Same exact scenario as last year when we won the Natty. So let's do it again, baby. Yeah. Run it back. Run it back.
Run it back.
Run it back.
I love it. I love it. Hey, yes, we are SEC East champions, Adam. We just ended up beating Mississippi State 45-19. We're going to talk about that win, the atmosphere, some fun facts, offense and defensive performance. And then we're going to move on to Georgia at Kentucky this week.
Nice.
I love this game, Adam. I love the blue and the red, how it clashes, it collides in a stadium, especially up there. The blue, I got to be honest, is a pretty color. But we get to go up to Kentucky this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about that game. Got some keys to the game. Last week's pick'em, this week's pick'em, and then a score prediction at the very end. We're going to skip game of the week, Adam. I think we're done.
Well, it's business time.
It's business.
It's business time. You get to the crunch time of the season, that back half, man, and where Georgia is right now, we got some important things to talk about. Always a fun segment. We love it. But, hey, I mean, some big stuff going on that has to be addressed with the position that this Georgia football team is in now. Clark going to Kentucky next week. Like you said, I love it. One of my favorite road trips of all time, man. The biannual trip up there is one that, good Lord willing, that I get to make every single year. One that's always a priority for me to get up there because I just enjoy the drive up there, man. Pretty view, and like you said, pretty colors up there. Enjoy the stadium. Not a bad seat in the house up there, man, and it should be a very fun game. So can't wait to talk about that, and can't wait to hear about your experience in Starkville, Mississippi.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, Adam. Me and my buddy McKay, we drove out to Starkville, Mississippi. I tell you, that is the most boring drive from Atlanta to Starkville. There is nothing on I-20. Alabama is just a boring state. I'm sorry for anybody listening from Alabama. It's just a boring state. Or at least
a bunch of pine trees drive through in there. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
I'm not saying it's
those
not
Alabama
pretty,
pines. That's right. No, I understand, man. I mean, that exactly. Clark is running on fumes right now, man.
Yeah.
You had to reach down deep because you have. I mean, you've traveled a lot the past 30 hours or so to get to Starkville and back. And I'm excited to hear about your experience. Yeah. And it's a trip that I didn't get to make, Clark. Didn't get to make. Killed me not being there, man. It killed me not being there, but I will be at Kentucky. But I didn't get to make this one yesterday. I did go to Mississippi State in 2005. I was like 12 years old, but don't remember much about it. So I'm looking forward to hear your analysis of Starkville, Mississippi, a place that Georgia has not played in since 2010. Yeah. So it's going to be fun to see. But so go ahead, tell us about it. Let us hear the whole experience, man, of what it was like being there for that SEC West beatdown that we put on.
Yeah, Adam, it was unbelievably cold out there. And that's a good thing that you got to sit home in the warmth. Anybody that watched the game on TV, you were a lot better off than we were, or us poor, pitiful souls in that stadium. It was cold. I was shaking like crazy. Yes. This is one of those kind of games you had to break out the hand warmer, the hot hands.
Oh, yeah, the hot hands, man. But that's football weather. That's what jacks me up. I was watching football. Sorry to cut you off real quick, but I was watching football all across the country yesterday in Arkansas and Oxford and where else was there? Well, of course, last night, but it just in the Southeast when it gets cold this time of year, there's pivotal football games being played. Yeah. And when you see people, in the stands breaking out the vests and the sweatshirts, man, and the warm clothing, like you said, the hot hands and the gloves, that's when it's go time. That's when championships are going to be clinched. Yep. And that is the way that the good Lord intended football to be played was in cold weather, man. And that I just love it. It does something to me this time of year, seeing collegiate football being played, man. So I love it.
Hey, we're going to get a cold one this upcoming week too,
right,
Adam.
Baby. Can't wait. I'm fired up about it.
I tell you though, I was shivering. I was literally shivering. Hey, pro tip for all the dogs that are traveling to Kentucky or maybe even to Tech, in Sanford this in 2 weeks, you need to take a blanket with you. Because
Carl, did you take a blanket?
I didn't take a blanket, but I should have. I saw all these Mississippi State fans that came way more prepared than I did. But the bleachers are as cold as ice, and when you sit your tail down on them, it gets cold there. So, yeah. So pro tip, just take a blanket with you. You can curl up in it. You can, if you have a wife or children, you can put it on the seat. I mean, it's very versatile.
That is true, Clark. That is true. That is a good pro tip, man. I like the hot hand things you said, too. I agree with that. A stocking cap.
Yeah.
Not a beanie, a stocking cap. Okay. That's how I refer to it as, is a stocking cap. But
what else?
Yes, whatever. Get the ears. When your ears are cold, Clark, it's tough to really concentrate and focus on what you need to focus on, man. No matter what in life, you can't have your ears cold.
Right.
And your feet, you can't have it. So, you got to wear some long johns, man. Yes. Break out the thermal layers underneath, and it's going to be
maybe a piping hot cup of Joe.
Yes, sir. That's what I love, that this is coffee drinking weather all day. Every day with it. So this is the time that I love getting some coffee in the stands, man. So I'm juiced. If you can't tell, I'm ready. Oh, yeah. That I missed out on this previous road trip. I'm ready to get back on the road and watch the dogs play, baby.
Oh, man. Well, we missed you, Adam. I tell you, it was like a high school. It was almost like a high school. Starkville, Mississippi State's campus is truly just like a big high school. Right. And it's a quiet, kind of quaint place out in the middle of nowhere. I really liked it. It was a cool little atmosphere. I definitely would not go to school there. There's just not enough going on. Right. The reason they call it Starkvegas, could be wrong about this, but a local told me, we went into a barbecue restaurant called Moe's. If you ever go to Starkville, go to Moe's. Good barbecue. Anyway, a local told us the reason they call it Starkvegas is because they do have one strip, kind of like Las Vegas, that kind of has everything on it. Boy, don't get your hopes up if you're going out there. But hey, it was a fun time. We had a good trip, and the Mississippi State fans, Adam, were a little crazy.
Well, tell me about it. What they do? What kind of experience? Did you have another fan run in? I know it was some friendly fire last week on the Georgia side, but this week, so you had a run in with some other the opposition then. Okay, I understand that, man. You have that kind of thing when you go on the road in the SEC, man. All of us are the same. Tempers flare in the sense of that people love their football for their respective states or teams or what have you not. So what happened?
So we sat amongst tons and tons of Mississippi State fans on one side of the stadium and on the home side. And oh boy, we got up and cheered when Smile Munden batted a ball down early in the game. Yeah. And I was told to sit down and shut up and blah, blah, blah. And I was told that these are alumni tickets and who sold you these tickets?
Alumni tickets.
Yeah, alumni tickets. I don't even know what that means.
I've never heard of there just being a alumni
section. Right. Yeah. It's baffling.
Anyway, okay. All right.
So the lady had to verify. The fan in front of us, she was a lady. I'm going to put it nicely. She was missing a bunch of teeth.
Okay.
I don't know if she was an alumni. Didn't really strike me that way.
All right.
Maybe they just give diplomas
if you drive through Starkvegas, you get a diploma thrown at your door. Yes. I got you. I understand through the window there.
But anyway, so she was very rude to us the whole night, and we just didn't feel welcome. We thought we'd get some Southern hospitality in Mississippi State, and Adam, we weren't being we were being very cordial. Me and my buddy McKay, we were being very cordial, and we were cheering for our team. And I said, hey, listen, you cheer for your team, I'll cheer for my team. We'll all have a good time. Right. But they did not like it. I think, Adam, I think fan bases are honestly just getting jealous of Georgia fans.
Oh, heck yeah, baby. That's right.
They want what we have.
They were us. I agree. I 100% agree. That's what's going on. But, man, Clark, that's interesting because you really don't think that Mississippi State is a place that would strike you to have a confrontation at,
right,
you know?
Right.
I mean, we don't have any bad blood with Mississippi State that I know of.
Yeah.
Barely play them, you know?
Right.
And everything. We said good things about their coach last episode, man. And so, wow. Yeah, that has to be it, that probably just jealous of the success.
Sure.
And didn't want a Georgia fan beside them. Yeah. And, hey, you know what I say about that, Clark? Hey, if you don't want Georgia fans sitting beside you, then don't sell Georgia fans your tickets, man.
Yeah.
You know, hey, look, if you're going to be about it, go to the games, cheer on your team. If you have tickets, don't sell them to the opposing fan base. It's not your fault. It's not McKay's fault. It's no Georgia fans' fault that they sold Georgia fans tickets and they didn't want to go see them play. It's not our fault that Mississippi State can't put on a football team out there, draw all their people in Mississippi to come see them. So, hey, look, you know, they need to look in the mirror and reevaluate that.
They do.
That's what I say about that.
The lady in front of me, last thing I'll say about this, the lady who sat in front of me wanted our seat numbers because she was going to call the athletic department and tell them that those seats, the seller of those seats should be revoked for their ticket privileges or whatever. And I was sitting there.
Well, you know what, Clark, my thought process on that, man, is, hey, as when the Mississippi State Athletic Department sells you tickets, then it's that person's personal property that they can sell, do whatever they please with them. And, you know, it seems like they need to have a powwow with their fellow season ticket holders.
Exactly.
And get it sorted out if it's that big of a deal for that woman there. Right. Well, man, interesting then, Clark. Interesting. Well,
yeah, anyway.
Wow, I mean, you weren't expecting that going into Davis Wade Stadium, man. As a hostile Mississippi State fans, got to watch out for them. Got to watch out for them.
And Adam, I'm telling you, my ears are literally still ringing from
cowbells.
The cowbells. It was so obnoxious.
I do not understand why. You know, you go into stadiums across America for any sporting event, but especially college football, where we go to for sporting events, in the Southeast, in the SEC. And Clark, when you go through the gate, there is a big board that says, no personal coolers, no drinks house, all right, listen to all this stuff that you can't. No guns, knives, weapons. No artificial noisemakers is on about every single one of them. And why is there an exception for Mississippi State to have their cowbells? I understand tradition and what have you not, but golly, that would be awful.
I don't think they're capable of making their own noise. I think they are such a pathetic... Man, that's me. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to dog them. I'm going to dog them because I sat amongst all of them. You know what? They have a pathetic fan base. I'll say it. I don't care. No Mississippi State fans listening to this. But even if they are, I'll let them know.
You experienced it, man. But I just was wondering about how they get artificial noisemakers and nobody else in the Southeastern Conference has the ability to be able to get them.
Well, I will say this, Adam. It was great. We moved over to the Georgia side in the second half with our people. And I mean,
with the people.
When I entered the section, I literally said, "I'm with my people," and I got people jacked up.
So the dogs traveled well.
Yes, dogs traveled. Adam, it was almost a neutral site game. I mean, truly, I don't know if they showed this on TV or not, but seriously, one side of the stadium was actually Mississippi State fans, and the whole other side was Georgia fans. So
nice.
Great turnout by the dogs. We traveled well. Anyway, quick weekly concession
stand report. I was about to say, Clark, give us that concession stands report.
Adam, I let you down. I let the Olive Rose 60 Nation down. I didn't get anything at this game. Literally nothing. Well, the lines were ridiculous. And so that kind of speaks to the Mississippi State.
Well, we can critique it then. If the lines are ridiculous, you got to get people in and out, man. I'm sure they're still have cash and, you know, just treating one. They don't have an assembly line going like at Sanford Stadium where you could go and you could have your popcorn lined up right here, your Coke Zero lined up here, your Diet Coke right here, you know, and your peanuts right here, hot dogs right here. A grab and go, if you will, Clark. That's exactly right. And then you go to the register and you pay with your card only. You get in and you get out. It's an efficient process and it works, man. So I guess they're still stuck in a time period where you you go up and you treat, and you serve just one individual at a time, man.
Right.
And that kind of reminds me like Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is bad at that, man. Small corridors for concession stand. A lot of you get it funnels in and you get kind of a log jam per se.
Yeah.
And it's tough getting in and out of there. So I'm imagining that's what Mississippi State is like. I don't remember it when I went there, but that's poor form on their part. Then, so anyway, I mean they go ahead and they get a D for that.
Yeah.
Because,
well, and I mean the food. Yeah, the food I saw, Adam, was just generic anyway. It was nachos, it's hot dogs. I mean, just the
nothing
generic,
special. Nothing special.
So
okay.
Nothing enticing enough for me to eat.
All right. Well, I got you then, Clark. I got you.
But anyway, hey, Starkville. It was, I guess, it was a good time. We beat them, and it's a place I will probably never visit again. It's kind of
check it off the list, man.
Check it off the list.
That's right.
And we're done with it.
Good deal, man.
I'll be sitting home with you next time.
All
maybe.
right, I heard
and,
that.
We'll be watching the game from home when we play Mississippi State in 12 years.
There you go.
All right, fun facts. Here we go. This is the 25th straight regular season win for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Give me more of that,
man. Are you kidding me?
Golly. God, that's so exciting. I mean, you think about it, Clark. 10-0 again, man.
Yeah.
10-0 again. People, sit back and listen to me say this again. Your University of Georgia Bulldog football team is 10-0 again for a second straight year. And a dang good chance. I don't want to, count chickens where they hatch, or put the cart before the horse.
Right.
But probably going to go 12-0 again, Clark. Probably going to go 12-0 again, man. You cannot ask for any better. I mean, this is a dream. This is an absolute dream. And people just need to enjoy this, man. I can't say it enough that this don't come around all the time like this. We waited a long time to get where Georgia was last year, and this is just icing on the cake, baby.
Oh, yeah.
We ate the cake last year, and then we just got some more icing on top of it in this go-round.
That's right.
Man.
Yeah, 25 straight. That's unbelievable. And, yeah, Adam, you're right. I mean, we don't want to look ahead too much, but, God, there's a good chance we do it again next year.
I'm telling you, yeah, I mean, it is just unbelievable where this team is, where the culture is of it. We talked about it last week. We've talked about episodes prior, Clark. And the good thing is what we talked about is this team is so young. And the fact that I think Kirby Smart will say, and I know he will say, that this team hadn't even played their best football yet together, Clark. All three phases of the game has not put together their best football yet. And that's scary if you're going against the University of Georgia, man. So it's very exciting to see. The schedule sets up well going into Atlanta here in a few weeks, Clark. And but, hey, you got to stay focused on what's coming up. So let's do it. But great fact. Great fact.
Kirby Smart just earned a $100,000 bonus for winning the SEC East.
Nice. I think we should earn a $100,000 bonus for being a podcast of the team that won the SEC East. I think I don't know who would pay that $100K bonus for us, but I think that should be implemented as well.
We'll take a $100 bonus. There you go. Oh boy, yeah. That's something I read off Twitter. And something else, I mean, we've kind of alluded to this. Kirby's fifth SEC title appearance and his 5th 10-win season in 7 years.
That's awesome, man.
Crazy.
Already ties Mark Richt for for how many ever SEC East championships that they had during their tenure at Georgia. That also ties him with Mark Richt and Philip Fulmer as third most appearances by a coach in the SEC championship game. Spurrier, I think, had 8 while he was at Florida, and I guess 1 at South Carolina, and then, of course, Saban, I believe, is at 11.
Yeah.
So you think about it, Philip Fulmer, Mark Richt, guys who stayed at Georgia and Tennessee, respectively, for a long period of time. And year 7, you're already touching them, man. That's unbelievable when you break down those statistics. Where this program's at, and also, man, it's exciting. You're playing LSU, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, playing LSU is the second most common matchup in SEC championship history since the game started in Birmingham in 1992.
Yeah.
In Legion Field there. Florida and Alabama is the most common opponent, but then Georgia LSU is actually the second most common opponent, Clark. They first met 2003, Nick Saban team. They beat us again. They already beat us previously that year, but beat us in the 2003 SEC championship. We whipped them at 05. They were ranked number 3. We were ranked number 13. We put a whooping, 34-14, something like that, I believe it was. And then 2011, we got beat by them that year with Honey Badger, and they went on to play in the national championship that year. Then, of course, 2019, everybody remembers that with Joe Burrow. So, hey, man, this is a game revenge for 2019, I think. And, shoot 11-2 while we're at it. So I'm very excited about this matchup, man. It's going to be a fun time. Man. What an opportunity, Clark. What an opportunity, baby.
Yeah, we're inching closer and closer to the postseason, Adam. I'm excited. Hey, let's talk a little bit about Georgia's offense this past Saturday against Mississippi State. I wanted to just say this: our line, Adam, our offensive line didn't look too good, but I do want to give some credit to Mississippi State's defense. Man, they had a physical front seven, and I think you're going to see some guys, especially on that defensive line, who will play on Sundays. I mean, they were big. They penetrated our line and made it difficult to run the ball at times, I think.
Yeah, man, absolutely. They you really got to tip your hat to Mississippi State's front seven, Clark. Really good and run defense right there. Really, I mean, just limited us. I think outside of the 30-yard run, 30-plus yard run Kendall Milton had there at the end of the game, and then Ladd McConkey's I know what you call it, kind of jet sweep, end around type deal that went through about 70 or so right there. Besides them two, I think it was about 2-point-something yards per carry. So they really did good. But, hey, man, you look at that game, Clark, and, yes, I feel like our offensive line did not play up to their standard. Right. Obviously, we would say that. But then you look at the numbers and the productivity and what Georgia put. I mean, it just shows that how historic this Georgia offense is, man. How historic. I mean, you still put up 45 points, Clark. Yeah. You turned the ball over how many times? Two, 3 times. Well, yeah, two times right there, 2 interceptions. So, and then still put up 45 points, man. And the total yards of offense that they did put up and accumulate with that standard play, it's unbelievable how talented this offense is and how productive that this offense truly is, Clark. Yeah. Because I can't remember. I was going to look up how many total yards of offense that they had on the box score. If you got that by chance.
Let me look it up.
But really just but you're right, Mississippi State, I think that is the thing that stood out for a negative side on the offensive side of the football is Mississippi State was able to really, really do well against our offensive line and get a good push against them and good penetration, man. So you got them stats up.
Yeah, we had, 179 rushing yards. Yeah. We had it was 5-point yards per carry. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, once you break it down like that and, that Ladd run – certainly helped that. And the Kendall. And then we had 289 passing yards, so 468 total.
Yeah, and man,
wow. And we're sitting here, we're not complaining, I won't say, but we're trying to figure out, how we can get better. Like it's our jobs or something to do that.
Well, it's fun to talk about, man. It's what everybody does. And but no, I mean, golly, it was just a night, man. It's so tough, Clark, going on the road in the Southeastern Conference against a Mississippi State team who's been inconsistent this year, but has some good wins, has some talent, man. And to be able to win that game 45-19 is when you put it in the overall perspective, Clark, is really good. And especially, Clark, you factor in even the biggest thing was coming off a highly emotional, historic home win where the crowd was absolutely juiced, man. And you've been hearing as a player, as an 18, 22-year-old guy, you've been told all week about how great you are, how great Saturday was, how that crowd was, how you're number one in the nation again, man. Even though Kirby does such a good job of not letting that outside noise kind of just sink into the program, Clark, you're still going to hear a little bit of that chatter, man. Yeah. And to be able to focus to the level that they did and then go beat a respectable Mississippi State team in Starkville, 7 o'clock Eastern kick with all them cowbells ringing and a game that, it doesn't matter where you go in the SEC, what the records are. When you got a number one team coming into your town, fans are going to show up and they're going to get loud for their respective program when Georgia comes to town. And to be able to go and win 45-19, Clark, you look at it like that. There's definitely some spots you got to grow up in, some maturity stuff that just continues that they continue to mature with, but is a big deal. And I mean, an impressive win, Clark. Yeah, a very impressive win. I think what I like about this team, Clark, that we saw it at Missouri, you saw it in Starkville when you go down 17-12 at the half, Clark. It's the way these guys answer, man. What happened in the third quarter in Jacksonville when this team, and I think that's something last year, Clark, at this particular time, we thought, how would this team handle adversity, right? Because you really didn't see that adversity. Most of the games last year, about all of them up until this point, you had your starters out of the game by the middle of the third quarter, right? Yeah. So you didn't really have adversity. But this team has been through the fire, has had some adversity. They're back against the wall where they have to answer, man. And they've done it time and time again, no matter where they're at and what they've been up against. This team has answered when it's needed to, Clark. You might say, hey, it might look a little lackluster, playing down their opponent for a little bit. But when, hey, they have to dial it in and put it together, man, put a big drive together to pull away, you know, and not put themselves into a deep hole. Man, they don't do it. They don't do it. And that's what I love about this team going forward into the postseason is how well the adversity has been handled up until this point of the season. They've had, you know, battle tested, man. Yeah. Battle tested. And come away after just all those factors I just mentioned, 45-19 win against Starkvegas Mississippi. Give it to me every single day, Clark. Yeah. Every day, baby.
Hey, like we mentioned earlier, any team in America would probably be happy with a 45-19 road win.
Yes, sir.
I don't care who it's against. I mean, people would love that. And you know, we just can't take it for granted, people. I mean, we are truly living in some great times.
You dang right, man. Boy. But, I mean, that is, a very respectable defense Mississippi State has. Yeah. We know about Mike Leach and his offense, but, I mean, a team that was, 6-3 before they played Georgia last night? Or Saturday night, weren't they? Yeah, they were 6-3.
So,
they only lost 3 games up until this point before the Georgia game. So, I mean, at night, SEC, huge environment, man. Getting away with that big of a win, covering the spread. I mean, dominating the spread, actually. Can't ask for any better, man. But then, if you want to pick it apart, there are some things that Kirby will say it, and everybody will, that can be improved upon. That just shows how elite this team is and where the ceiling of this team can be at, Clark. Sky's the limit, baby. It might not even be a ceiling, man. I mean, it just keep on climbing up. It's exciting.
Ladd, man, he had Ladd had a great game. I'm sorry, I meant Stetson.
Yes.
Stetson, this is what I want to say. Okay. Stetson, man, he made some very questionable throws. Don't get me wrong, he had a great game, but there were some moments where he kind of just threw the ball up in hopes that one of his guys would go up for the ball and come down with it. Yeah. But we can't take those chances, I think, moving forward. We got to be more careful. And he knows that. I mean, you know, that's something he's got to work on. And they'll watch a lot of film and see, you know, what went down this past week. So not worried about it too much, but can't force things. And I think Stetson sometimes does that, especially when he gets under pressure.
Yeah, I think a couple of those were under pressure. Got his arm hit one time with it, man. And like you said, just some stuff there that we really could have had 3 turnovers easily, Clark. We got very fortunate on that DeJuan Edwards play call where they called forward progress. They stopped, they blew the whistle, and made that play dead. It looked like that very easily should have been called a fumble, and got very fortunate with that. So we got to, we've talked about it in weeks past. Going forward, you have to eliminate the turn. It's amazing to think when this offense does play a clean game, does eliminate two plus turnovers per game, man, and you're still putting up 45 points. What it can do is just amazing if it plays a clean game, like what we saw at Oregon and South Carolina and stuff. And it's exciting to see going forward. I think we will see that again. But yeah, that's one thing, like you said, Clark, definitely can't have that against some of these guys going forward deep into the postseason and later on, man. But again, you think of it on the other side, like I just said, man, I mean, you still put up 45 points on the road in the SEC. We're turning the ball over 2 times.
Yeah. Ladd, he had a great game yesterday. He continues just to wow people. He kind of reminds me of Isaiah McKenzie, Adam, a little bit.
Does he?
Just very agile, very shifty, elusive, great route runner, great hands. He's hard to bring down. He really kind of is. He's just shifty and elusive. And, man, what a play to open up the second half, especially after, giving up that punt return for a touchdown going into halftime. Great answer by Ladd McConkey. He's got so much speed. I love Ladd McConkey. I want a Ladd McConkey jersey, Adam.
Clark. I tell you what, that was something. You should have went up in the half 17-6, right? So you're in the SEC road game, momentum swing, man. You give them a cheap special teams, give up a cheap 7 right there, Clark. So. They went for 2 and missed it. Yeah. 17 to, so you go 17-12, cheap 6, 17-12 a half, man. And you can question what you do right there. Do you run out the clock? But then if you try to run out the clock, you're thinking, man, why don't we just try to, with the offense we got, the playmakers we got, try to push down the field, at least get a field goal out of it, you know, really put a dagger in them. Well, Clark, you know, I feel like if you did do that you need to be kind of a little bit, if you're going to do it, you know what I mean? Not just like 5-yard passes down the field, but I'm not one to question these coaches whatsoever with the results we have. But that was kind of the feel of it right there, man. So that's it. But then you're like, God, make a tackle and cover on special teams, man. That you got to have better out of your special teams right there, knowing that's the last thing you could do is give up a punt. But needless to say, all that put behind us, Clark, that was going to be the question. With that game close to a 5-point margin right there, going into half, how would these guys answer to that?
Right.
How would those guys answer coming out of the half, man? And what they did coming out of the half, like you said, driving down the field like that, man, it just shows you all you need to know about what this team does when adversity is just looking them in the face, man. And that is what is beautiful and what I feel so good about this particular team going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they take it in stride. It doesn't really seem to bother them that they, you know, just screwed up. They just go to the next play. And that's what makes them special, Adam. And hopefully, you know, if we do meet that adversity again, in which we probably will, especially in the playoff,
man.
It's likely we're going to be faced with those situations. You got to just push through.
This is the belief in the chemistry that the coaching staff and the players have with each other.
Yeah.
That if it's a miscue on the coaching staff's part or a player's fault, that there's no just finger pointing and people just getting all up in arms and no me guys. You know what? It's there's accountability being held, but there's belief that the next time that guy's going to answer that you can go back to him and it's going to happen. And that's what the characteristics of a championship level football team, that you have that, Clark. And, you know, it was funny on SEC Inside, I believe, for the Race to Atlanta episode last week where they did Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama, LSU. And Kirby said he's never been around a group of guys so bonded and connected, man. So you have this belief in each other, man. And the leadership's there. Everything, all the makings are there to reach the ultimate goal. And that's what's got me more giddy than anything is you see that. And it was just confirmed the other night, man. I don't know why that I just felt just so good about that football game, seeing how they came out 17-12. Everybody in the world wishing Mississippi State would come out. Cowbells ringing in their face. They just punched them in the mouth, Clark.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you there was not a guy in that locker room who was nervous at halftime. Or a coach or anybody, or even a fan, man. Really, honestly, I mean, just thinking about that, they knew what they had to do, and they could put it behind them if there were some mistakes, miscues, and they go out and capitalize and make it happen. That's just what they did, and that's what happens when you're that good and you do it. You go and you win the game 45-19.
Yeah. Hey, we had Darnell had some big catches, man. He's so hard to stop, especially on the bootleg pass.
So good,
and Kieris Jackson, shout out to him, man. He made a huge catch to sustain a drive and get us into scoring position. So
yeah, he did, Clark. That was a great catch.
Yeah, good catches by those guys. And yeah, I mean, man, good offense performance. 45 points. Anytime you score 45 points, you can always expect.
You're dang right, man. This offense. I mean, even though we've talked about in some of these games have not played to their fullest potential, that it's scary to think about what it would look like when they're at their fullest potential, man. But these guys, there's playmakers out there. There's guys who are very smart with what they're doing and know what they're doing out there. Stetson Bennett can really run this offense, man, in a way that is special. And you know, Clark, like you said, there might be some that might want to force it in coverage a little bit, but you know, you'll have that sometimes, and stuff that, of course, that you don't want to see just be a habit of doing. But I do think the interceptions last night, I would say that was put on from the pressure and more on the offensive line than anything with some of those balls, though, man. But I agree with that. Overall, great day, man. Great day. You go into the SEC opponent's stadium and you put up 45, man. Especially against a team like Mississippi State. This isn't like going to Nashville and against Vanderbilt putting up 45, man. It's going to Mississippi State at night and doing that. This offense, we're very, very, very lucky to have them. And good complimentary football from both sides of the ball, I feel like, man. I mean, it's just I can't say anything bad. It's just great. We juiced, man. I mean, we gotta, we can't just be all just rainbows and butterflies and sunshine, man. But I'm just juiced.
We kind of can
fired
be.
Up. Yeah, we can.
We can be, honestly.
Yeah, we can, because it is a
special time.
Man, the potential of what could happen again.
Oh, man. Yeah, hey, let's talk about Georgia's defense a little bit. Smile Munden played lights out.
Man,
he is such an underrated football player.
Yeah. I think there's a difference, man, when Smile and 88's in the game in defense. That defense is just different, and it is electric, and it is elite. It is unbelievably talented. The secondary is better than it was last year with these guys, young guys out there, 100%. And the inside linebacker play, like what you said with Smile back there now on the second level. And Pop probably didn't have his best game last night, but that's okay, because when somebody doesn't have their best game, there's somebody else that's going to pick them up and go.
Exactly.
And he has done so much for our team to this point forward. I think as a vocal leader out there, from it just looks like observing from in the stands or on the TV screen, And it's a special group, Clark. Mm-hmm. They're just going to keep getting better, man. And it's unbelievable what they can accomplish by season's end, Clark. And especially, once you get some, and you got to think, man, if we get through the next 2 regular season games, get through the SEC championship, then you got a few weeks of practice for these guys to mature even more, Clark.
Yeah.
In preparation for the playoffs. But hey, we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves right there. But no, what they did last night, man, unbelievable against a offense who has shown at times this season to be very explosive, Clark.
Right.
And when you think about it, man, the 2 touchdowns Mississippi State got was a short field,
right?
And off a turnover and a punt return, man.
Yeah. And we held them to two field goals, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Defense I thought played great. It was really interesting look. We had. It was almost like a 4-2-5 is what we were running, kind of.
Right.
I don't know if that was what Kirby would call it, but we did have about 4 guys constantly rushing, and Smile Munden had to, and Pop, Jamon Dumas, he had to play kind of all over the field and cover these guys. It was one of those things too, they kind of took what we gave them defensively. We played a lot of man, and when there were quite a few times where you had drag routes, you had underneath routes, and they'd hit those for quick 5-10 gains. But honestly, I was very impressed with how we didn't allow anything deep.
Exactly.
Maybe there was a couple balls, but other than that, we played good disciplined football on defense, especially in the secondary. Yeah. So, hey, once again, our tackling was great. I thought
it was
really good tackling. So.
Well, that's how you win when you're so good against explosive offenses now, is when you have guys that have the ability against the Tennessees of the world and these explosive offenses that you see in college football now, is to man up and tackle well in space. Yep. And when you have the athletes and the caliber of secondary players that Georgia does, what Kirby Smart has said, hey, I'm going to go get these guys who can man up on these receivers. That's where the game is going, and I'm going to win defensive football like that, and that is what he has done, Clark. Yeah. And when you have that, teams don't have that. There's not defenses out there that have that like Georgia does in the secondary, these young guys. And like you said, Clark, very good bend but don't break, keeping everything in front of you, being disciplined, man, not eliminating them not being able to have just cheap throws downfield behind the third level and get some quick scores like that. I was very proud of them, Clark, when we got the Phantom roughing the punter call that gave Mississippi State I don't know if you got to see a replay of that. You might have could argue that it's plant foot, the punter, that kind of grazed him, but I think that was a good Oscar-winning award job by their punter there. But, hey, we got some good calls in the game, too, if we're going to be honest with you. So, but for the defense to be able to have them 3rd and 18, 4th and 18, and are about to punt, get the ball back, and then automatic personal foul penalty, they get automatic first down, man, and to be able to just keep everything in front of them. And Mississippi State's down 19. They really needed to hurry up and kind of get, but they couldn't. They couldn't, and the clock just kept ticking down, winding down, and then, of course, they get a stop, man, and that's just what this defense does, Clark. Is they're just going to absolutely strangle you and squeeze the life out of you, man. Yes. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. Like when you get 88 on the edge too, Clark, we referred to it a little bit last week, man. It's special. It's special where you can line him up all over the field. And this defense, I really feel like, is coming into their own. You got to keep some certain guys healthy, I think, for it to click and to be at the elite level. It'd still be good, Clark, with the guys that would be out there. But when number 2 is out there, number 88, we have seen after having them absent a little bit there in the middle of the year, special things can happen, man. Combined with that secondary and the guys who are getting more playing time, like we referred to all year, the Kamari Lassiters of the world, man, Javon Bullards of the world. Glad to see he's going to be okay, because that's a guy that you got to have at that position. Right. You got to have 22 out there, man, and seeing those guys mature, Malachi starts, and get with there, it's scary. It's scary to think. Sky's the limit, baby. Sky's the limit. Another impressive performance, man. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon, baby. Get a chance to play the number 1 quarterback draft prospect in Lexington, man, against an offensive line, Clark, that I think is pretty attractive. It should be a good time to feast, man. We should see, any given Saturday, but it's exciting to see every matchup I could think of going forward that I think Georgia could have when I'm looking ahead, man. It's exciting.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Adam, we got a glorious matchup defensively.
Yes, we do.
This upcoming week. I've got some numbers for you coming up. But before we get to Kentucky, let's talk about special teams just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really the elephant in the room with this would be the punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think what Kirby said, I watched his post-game interview.
Did you?
He said that they had the gunner. If you don't know what the gunner is kind of like the receiver on the punt team. He flies down the field. It's kind of one of the faster guys on the field. Just to get down there, set the edge. He was actually on the line.
Yep.
Yeah, he was on the line as opposed to being wide and out or something.
You gotta stay in your lanes, Clark.
Yes.
You gotta stay in your lanes, baby. Everybody's gotta be disciplined, staying in their lane. Right. And we'll go ahead and say it. Number 5 done some great things with us. Definitely no slide on him, but made a poor tackle.
Keely?
It was Keely. Keely made the missed tackle.
Oh, I did not.
Yeah,
see
Keely
that.
made the missed tackle, man. That's what you get to see when your eyes are on the
Well,
TV.
yeah, you got to see that, Adam. What I got to see was a cowbell in my face from old toothless Tammy in front of me. She sat there. She got that cowbell.
She got that cowbell. She started shaking that thing in front of her. She was gonna let you know that Mississippi State train is rolling and coming back, baby.
Oh boy! And you know what? I just sat there and I literally laughed.
Way to represent the G, baby. Yes, you laugh because you know they're an inferior opponent. Let them have their moment, man.
And I said, let them have their moment. Let them have their moment. I'm not, as God is my witness. I mean, she was. The kid was running for the touchdown, and as she was doing that, I just gave her a thumbs up. Like,
just great job, baby.
And I laughed.
Great job.
Oh,
slow
my
clap.
gosh, yes.
Oh, you know that made her night, though, Clark. She was just itching to get that cowbell in front of your face.
I wish I could have seen her face in the second half.
That's good discipline on you, too, Clark. I mean, that's what the fans got discipline, too. Right, because, it's like what Kirby said at halftime in Florida. When they're undisciplined tails, they look at you just point the scoreboard and laugh, baby. So that's for the fan base, too. That's for the fan base, too, when people try to, when those undisciplined fans, man, who don't have no culture in their program, from the players to the coaches to the fan bases, try to get you riled up. You just point at the scoreboard and you let them know what kind of fan base we have, because the culture that Kirby Smart has instilled is from players, staff, water boys, equipment managers, video managers, baby, all the way to the fans. The culture is elite. And we just laugh at their undisciplined tails.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Oh, man. Some people understand that reference and others probably won't.
That's it. Anyway. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Man.
So,
good stuff, Adam.
That's what we're going to do in Lexington, Kentucky, baby.
Yes. Moving on this week, Georgia at Kentucky. Man, it's going to be a fun game. Hey, is this a bump up a bun game?
This is a bing. It is a 3:30 SEC kickoff, probably because absolutely because Georgia's number 1 in the nation, and the SEC slate is horrendous.
It is bad this week.
But hey, I love it, man. Give us on national television. Let the world see what is coming down the tracks for the rest of the season to come. Showcase the Georgia Bulldogs on the road again in Lexington, Kentucky. Clark, hey, man, we talked about it at the beginning of the season. Did we not? Everybody talked about it during the summer, man, even in the last winter from January after. Hey, coming back from Indianapolis, baby. Coming back from Indianapolis that Tuesday morning in January, you go ahead and you start looking ahead, man, and say, hey, what are we going to do next season? Where's the slip-ups going to be? And everybody pointed to a 4-game stretch, Clark. Everybody and their brother pointed to this 4-game stretch and said, you got Florida, you got Tennessee, you got Mississippi State on the road, and you got Kentucky on the road, man. That's a tough 4-game slate. I don't care how good you are, man, in the Southeastern Conference. It's going to be hard to get through them unscathed, baby. Mm-hmm. Everybody and their brother, even myself, was thinking, man, there might be a loss in there. You started bouncing back and forth of who it would be. But, hey, you're staring that number 4 right down, that 4th game, Clark, to get through that slate. You're staring it right down the barrel right now, man, and it's exciting. I'm fired up about it. Very good chance you're going to come out of this 4-game slate undefeated again, 11-0, heading into Tech Week, man. It don't get any better. So I just wanted to make that reference because, everybody with their brother, they remember being on the beach or being at the lake this summer or wherever you were talking about this 4-game schedule we had. Yeah. And where's the slip-up going to be? There's not going to be a slip-up, baby.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
There's not going to be no slip-up.
Hey, Georgia is 61-12 against Kentucky. Our away record is 30-8 all time. The last loss was in 2010. Excuse me. Oh,
Wait,
yes.
Is this?
Yes.
Wait, is this
I
a Mississippi? I was about to say, we killed him in 2010.
Yes, sorry about that.
Are we 61-12 against Kentucky?
Oh, yes. We're 61-12 against Kentucky. My bad. I have not updated it from last week.
That was one of the. I think that 2010 Kentucky game was one of the few bright spots in that 2010 season.
It was.
Sean Ely went.
Sorry, I meant to say we haven't lost since 2009 against Kentucky
That was
in
terrible
Athens.
Night. Terrible night.
I think it rained that night.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad night all the way around.
Georgia opens as a 30-point, or oh my gosh, I'm butchering
Clark,
this.
hey man, you've been a DGD for us these past few hours, man. You were running on fumes. You have literally drove to Starkville and back and had to go to work and then come straight here to record this podcast for the people. So let's rally behind Carl and get them going.
Sorry, okay, let's try this again. Georgia opens as a 23-point favorite.
There we go.
23-point favorite. And Adam, I think we're going to hammer that
You
spread.
dang right, baby. Put it on them.
Listen to this. The weather is a high of 36 and a low of 18. There's your football
That's
weather,
my football
Adam.
weather right there, man. You're going to get some stingers out there on that field popping in this thing. You know, when you hit, you're going to feel it.
And even as a fan, you got to be careful. Man, you got to high-fiving people.
That's right. You do, Clark. That is exactly right. Yeah. I would encourage give a good little fist bump and get the knuckles. That would probably be a hug, Adam. Or maybe a hug, a two-pat hug, man. All about the two-pat hugs for a celebration. I agree 100% on that, man. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited about going to Lexington for this matchup. A game that we really thought could be a game. Honestly, Clark, it's just so funny looking back at where you thought it would be at. When we thought about Kentucky at the beginning of the year, that the talent they had coming in, a team that's still capable of beating you, just don't look like they have it all together at all right now. But a team preseason, man, at one point in time, they were ranked in the top 10, but had SEC's championship aspirations. A lot of people thought it might be like the 2018 game over there, Clark, where the winner would win the SEC East.
Yeah.
But, of course, that has not been the case with how Kentucky's season has gone, Clark. Reeling off a loss to Vanderbilt, I think they are done. I think there's some turmoil in that program and some uncertain futures, man, that they could lose to Georgia and, definitely lose to Georgia. Then they could go lose to Louisville as well and cap off a 6-6 campaign after the promise of a big season up there in Lexington. I'm excited. It's going to be fun, baby.
Yeah. Hey, if you need a sign to go to Lexington, this is it. It's an easy, beautiful drive. Northeast Georgia dogs, you need to just go.
Just go, baby.
Just
go. It's going to be a fun drive. Yeah. Pack your long johns. Come on up there with us, man. We'll get excited. Me and Clark will be up there. We're fired up about this one, man. Tickets going to be cheap. They're just going to keep getting cheaper, man.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, it's an easy drive up there, dogs.
Come on.
Kentucky is 98th in the country in scoring offense.
That is atrocious.
They score 23.6 points per game. Adam, it's really interesting because, we did talk about this game a lot, but, man, this Will Levis offense, you think about it where it was last year and compared to this year, it's off. Something's not right. Yeah. And I think we both know the answer to this, but their offensive line. It's just atrocious.
It's atrocious, man. That and they have a new offense coordinator. They had a guy, Liam Cohen, last year, Clark, who did some good things. Had a little bit of creativity, and he went to go be Sean McVay's offense coordinator at the LA Rams. They bring in another NFL guy. I think his name's Eric Scangarillo. Has not lived up to expectation.
Say that name again.
Eric Scangarillo. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So, but he has been horrible in Lexington. It seems like Will Levis. They kind of run more. I'd say it's kind of a little pro style deal, and I think you do what Georgia does. You stop the run, and you stop Chris Rodriguez, man. You stop the run. Will Levis isn't going to beat you throwing the ball. And I can tell you that right now because what he did against three interceptions against Tennessee, I believe, and I forgot the yards they had. Only scored 6 points in Neyland. This Georgia defense should feast, Clark.
Oh, yeah.
It should not be. This does not bode well for the Kentucky offense, man. A lot of guys, Jalen Carter, go, and the secondary, these guys, Keely Ringo, there's going to be a lot of NFL scouts watching this game for Levis, how Levis will do against Georgia's defense, but he has no supporting cast around him. I don't think he's been that. I think he's overrated, Clark. He might be a guy who has the intangibles, man, that they like to see, good build, good physical physique, Clark, if you will, that old Mel Kiper Jr., Ty McShay drool about, big arm and whatnot. But as far as putting the team on his back and doing something this year, even though he's been banged up a little bit, I haven't seen anything. But the scouts love them. They're going to be loving this. So, hey, Keely Ringo, these guys out there, Jalen Carter, this is time to even improve your draft stock even more. Feast on Will Levis. Feast on that Kentucky offensive line, man. They have no playmakers, I feel like, on the perimeter and the outside at receiver that could, as a threat against the secondary. It should be a game, Clark, that we really limit anything for these guys to get going. They could not get going against the Vanderbilt Commodores just last week. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah. Kentucky is 128th, almost dead last in the nation for sacks allowed, Adam. They've given up 35 sacks this season.
Let's do it,
That's
Cole.
insane.
Let's do it. Eat, baby.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Jalen Carter, get up in there. Smile-minded. On Pop, Jamin Dumas-Johnson, some guys going to eat,
send me, Coach.
Yeah,
on a safety blitz.
You dang right. Clark, up
send me, Coach. I'll go. Woo. I'll go shoot an A-gap.
I would bounce off Will Levis.
Yeah, I would too.
Break my shoulder. I mean, that would be a, have to go for the legs, man. Have to go for the legs. Get it. Yes, sir. It should be a fun night for the defense.
Agreed, yeah.
Jacked up.
Kentucky is also, I'm just pouring salt in the wound here. Kentucky is 111th in the nation in rushing offense.
Wow.
109.2 yards per game. That's not going to cut it against the Dog.
No, it's not, man.
Defense.
No, it's not. Chris Rodriguez, hard runner, man. Hard runner. And a guy, you contain him, you limit his yards per game. You're doing. The Kentucky offense is shut down. Not going to do anything. Yeah. Not going to do anything. I feel like this is going to be a game, Clark, that I think we're just really going to try to just get in there, get out with no injuries, and just get back to the house, man. I don't think it's going to be flashy that the offense is just going to be opening up and we're just going to be just throwing the ball all over the yard. And I think it's just going to be one of these deals where we do what we need to do. We get out of there. It might not be a sexy, flashy win, Clark, in the sense of what the scoreboard will say, even though I think we will dominate both lines of scrimmage. I just think that it's going to be a game where Kirby knows that we just need to get out of here injury-free. We need to get this win, man, and get ready for Tech, get through that one, and then start the postseason. So I think that's kind of what we're looking forward to. I think this is a Kentucky team who, if you let them, if Georgia just doesn't play their best ball and Kentucky does turn it on, man, the crowd's into it. We'll see. That's yet to be determined. If they've checked out, if they're already on the hardwood cheering on John Calipari and the Cats already focused on basketball, or if they're going to get fired up because the number one team's coming into Kroger Field. So we will see what that atmosphere is going to be like. But if you don't have any self-inflicted wounds, you should win this game easy, man. Yeah. And I think we'll play it safe, not to try to give anything cheap to Kentucky and give them some because they're not going to move the football otherwise unless we just give it to them.
You're right.
Let's set them up with a gold mine for good field position all night. So it's gonna be fun to see, but. This is going to be a great game. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game.
Especially after watching Kentucky lose to Vandy 24-21. Wow. Clark Lee is on a roll. That's their first SEC win.
Well, he said everybody knows it's a matter of time, man. And that big win up in snowy Lexington, Kentucky last Saturday put the world on notice that Vanderbilt football is here and Vanderbilt football is not going anywhere, Clark. Big time win, big time locker room celebration. Good on the Vanderbilt Commodores,
yeah, good
Clark.
for them.
Good on the Vanderbilt Commodores. That's good.
Oh, man. Oh, poor Kentucky. We're going to put them out of their misery this week. All right.
Yes, sir, baby.
Let's talk about last week's Pick'em. We had some interesting games. Mizzou at Tennessee.
Okay, give it to us. Oh, yeah. I mean, man.
66-24,
you know,
Tennessee
that offense looks so good against people who do not have elite playmakers on the back end in their secondary. Clark, what I alluded to earlier in this episode, I don't care. You can have Georgia's blueprint on how to do it, but if you ain't got the Jimmies and the Joes and the guys out there to do it, if you don't have the guys to make open field tackles, if you don't have guys that you can man up, Clark, if you can man up on and lock on man on those outside threats on the heights of the kid, then, they're going to out scheme. If you don't have disciplined guys who can read their coverage, because Josh Heupel's offense is all about creating confusion and busted coverage, Clark. But that is why when you have the coaching that Georgia does, Clark, and you have the elite playmakers and the guys who could read it, that's how you shut down Tennessee's offense. But if you don't have that, you're not going to have a chance. You're going to have receivers just running wide open. That's why they look the same that they did the whole year after going into Athens last week. This week is because Missouri just didn't have that. They don't have the playmakers, man. You could read that blueprint and make up whatever you will, but if you can't go out there and execute the blueprint, then it's not going to do you a bit of good. And that's what happened with Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I did think their defense would be a little bit better because I thought they had a more respectable defensive
They kept it kind of interesting there for a little bit.
But then it started into a beauty contest for old Josh Heupel to really kind of run it up, man. He started to run it up, started throwing the ball down the field. He wanted to get that 60-plus points, man.
Did you see Hendon Hooker? Did you see Hendon Hooker at the end of the game conducting the band?
Oh, that was cute, wasn't it?
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of something Jordan Davis did?
Yeah.
Or Peyton Manning?
Yeah. So it's cute. Senior day.
Copycat.
Hoopla,
just trying to get the Heisman
Get them excited, man. Get them excited. They're in the playoff hunt still, especially with Oregon losing. We'll get to that, I'm sure. And but yeah, I just they're explosive. They're going to look dang good. But you got to have the guys, Clark.
Jimmies and the
Joes, baby.
Yeah.
You got to have some playmakers. You got to have some dogs out there in the secondary who will man up and get physical. And then you got to get some guys who you can get home the quarterback. Bring them 4 or 5, and that's what Georgia did. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, we'll see. I can eat crow on it. If they meet up again, those same guys will be out there. Good Lord willing. So that's the blueprint, and South Carolina doesn't have the Jimmies or the Joes to do anything. They're going to put up 60 points in Columbia, I'm sure. Yeah. And then Vanderbilt, God love them, they might put up 100 against them to make a statement. So then we'll see what the playoff committee does after that. But that's all it is. That's all it is the offense design. If you're not disciplined, you don't have the guys to cover them. Yeah. It's all about creating confusion in the third level, man, and busted coverages, and you have guys streaking 20 yards down the field open. Be disciplined, baby.
Adam, are you drinking a Coke, a coffee, and a water?
I am. I'm moving.
Can you show everybody? Yep. All right, we got Adam has an empty Coke can. You got an empty coffee,
and then I'm on the water.
Hey, you stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated. I just noticed that.
That's it. That's what I got going on over here, Clark.
Oh, Jesus.
Big podcast. Big late the season, man. You got to pull out everything to get it going.
Yeah.
Clark, you all right, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. That cold got
just
to
keep
me.
on. Just keep on rolling. Just keep on rolling. Do what you do.
All right. Battle of the Golden Boot. LSU at Arkansas. LSU ended up winning this thing 13-10. It was a close game. Yeah,
it was, man. Very interesting. Arkansas did not have KJ Jefferson, their starting quarterback. Look abysmal on the offensive side of the football. Harold Perkins for LSU is a monster, Clark. A monster. He is going to be somebody to look out for when Georgia and LSU meet in the SEC championship between him and BJ Ojulari, Ojulari is a familiar name to Georgia Bulldog fans' brother. Pass rusher, pretty dang good, dang solid guys, man. If Harold Perkins continues to trend the trajectory he is going to be an absolute force, man, and somebody who will be one of the best linebackers to play in college football in a long time, man. He is good. Over the last play, he took over that ball game.
Really?
I don't know how much you got to see of it, but he did. But LSU saying that. I feel like, Clark, that they have talented wideouts, man, and we have a lot of time to talk about it. But if you stop Jaden Daniels from running on you, stop the running game and contain him, they're not. I don't think he's going to have the ability to stretch the field and beat you and just carve you up and through the air. So I think that's what it is. And if they play like they did against Arkansas, and Georgia plays a B+ game, even a B+ game, Clark, that game should be a contest. Like I said, it's time to get to that.
That's true.
Can't help but think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But hey, congrats, Brian Kelly at LSU. Proved me wrong. I'm eating crow.
Me
I didn't think they'd do it in year one. I thought they'd be 8-4, 7-5 or something. But heck of a run. SEC West champs taking down Nick Saban. First year out of the gates in Baton Rouge. So, man, you got to give him some props on that.
Yeah, credit to him.
Yeah.
Alabama at Ole Miss. Bama ended up winning.
They did.
Is this right? 30-24?
That is correct.
Okay,
that is correct.
I didn't get the final of that because that was close to kick off for Georgia.
Yeah, I tell you what, Ole Miss jumped out on them early, man, and just could not protect the quarterback at all to get anything going through the air. I think Zach Evans got hurt, and then was in good position there in the red zone there with under a minute left to go ahead and score and try to win the game 31-30, but just couldn't get it done on a 4th down conversion. So Alabama holds on, gets a win.
Lucky Bama. Man. South Carolina. Florida. Oh, this was bad.
Shane.
He got humbled real quick.
I think
38-6, Florida.
Yeah, that's Billy Napier, man, putting it together. He's going to, after what happened in College Station last week, winning 41-24. He wins this game. I don't know who they got next week, but and then of course we'll end the game the Friday after Thanksgiving to end the season, regular season against Florida State. They have a chance to get some momentum going in the offseason there in Gainesville, man. But definitely not a good look for Shane Beamer and his South Carolina program, especially with the next 2 weeks looming of Tennessee and Clemson. Really need to do something to try to get a positive spin going into the offseason in Columbia, South Carolina. But old Shane, old buddy of the show that we like to talk about, not a good ending going forward, man. Got a little too jubilant about that Texas A&M win there, Carl, against what are they now? 3-7?
Yeah, not 3-7 bowl eligible.
3-7 Texas A&M. So that's not a good win to hang your hat on, Shane, brother.
If I told you before the season started, we're kind of deviating here. That Vandy would have a better record than Texas A&M through 10 games, what would you have said to me?
I would have thought you were crazy, Clark, especially in LSU winning the West. I mean, that's why we love college football. You have no idea what's going to happen. But A&M, man,
it's poetic, honestly.
I don't know what they got to do. They got to drill for more oil or something. They got to find some money to get Jimbo out of there because he is setting that program back. I feel sorry for some of just the good fans there, man.
Are there good fans out there?
I don't know.
I bet. I'm sure there are.
Okay, it's a weird culture. I will say that. It is a weird culture, but it is unbelievable what Jimbo is getting paid and what he is doing to that program. I mean, it is absolutely inexcusable for that talent to be 3-7 right now. But, man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Just a dumpster fire that the fire every week just keeps growing. Yeah. Just keeps spreading.
Consuming more oil.
More oil. Put more gas on the fire, man, and it's exciting to see. Yeah. It's exciting to see. It's going to be fun to see how it ends.
Oh, yeah. Washington at Oregon. Washington won 37-34.
Woo,
upset,
Clark.
Man. Are you kidding me?
I turned after the Mississippi State-Georgia game. We watched the end of that game, Clark. Dan Lannon, bless his heart, done a great job as a first-year head coach, man. Not taking anything away from him, but, you get caught up in the heat of the moment. Bo Nix wasn't even in the game. They went for it on 4th and 1 in their own. I forgot if it was on their own 30. I mean, it was in their own territory, well in their own territory, man. And Washington stuffed. The running back slipped in the backfield, tripped up, and Washington got the ball, kicked a field goal to go up. Oregon had 50 seconds left, made a decent comeback trying to push the ball downfield to get in field goal range and couldn't. But it was tied 34-34, and Oregon elected to go for it on 4th and 1 in their own territory. Kind of a very questionable call. And not even having Bo Nix in the game. And it looked like Bo Nix was saying he wanted to go back in.
Right.
And but I don't know, man. Still nonetheless, I guess a good, impressive first campaign for Dan Lannon. So it'll be interesting to see, man, how the Pac-12 shapes out. Tennessee fans excited to see for the playoff picture. Oregon getting that loss. But I tell you what, Clark, the team I think out west to look for now is the Southern California Trojans. I think they're a very overrated football team. Not that good. But man, you got to think of the name. You got to think of the name who is the head coach, and you got to think about their quarterback and what people would want to see and who they got remaining on the schedule. You got a UCLA team, I think that's only lost 2, and then you have a Notre Dame team who's kind of gained some steam here. That's really not that good. But if USC beats them, if USC beats UCLA, both should be ranked opponents by the time that they play them. They win those 2 games. Then they go in the Pac-12 championship and knock off Oregon or Utah, whoever will be who they play. If they win these next 2 games and then win that, I think it'll be very hard to keep a one-loss Southern California Trojan football team out of the college football playoff, one-loss Pac-12 championships, not only because they're coached by Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams, but that 3-game win streak that it'll have over ranked opponents down the stretch when Tennessee's trying to put up style points against Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So, and I mean, USC's one loss was to Utah.
Yeah. A two-point conversion, missing a 2-point conversion on the road. So, I don't think they're a good football team at all. But I mean, if you're a Georgia fan, you want Southern California in the playoffs, man. I mean, obviously, we don't care. It'll be anybody, any day, anywhere, anytime. I don't care. But, hey, it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be very fun. This is one of the most unclear playoff pictures and could go in so many different ways that I remember in a long time, maybe ever this late in the season, Clark. So, hey, the next 3 weeks watching play out is going to be super fun.
Absolutely. TCU at Texas. TCU wins 17-10. Good win for Sonny Dykes? Wait.
Sonny Dykes. Yes, sir,
Sonny
man.
Dykes.
Hey, look at him, man. First-year head coach down there at Texas Christian. Goes to Austin, gets a win. Gary Patterson, the guy who they have a statue of at TCU, coached 21 years there, and is actually the special assistant to the head coach in Austin at Texas for Sarkisian now.
Wait. Special assistant to the head coach?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, boy,
that is correct. That is what Gary Patterson is at Texas. So his old team, the Horned Frogs, number 4 in the nation, undefeated first-year head coach, come in there and pop you. That's got to be a tough feeling.
Yeah.
Got to be a tough feeling what Gary Patterson's going through now. But a lot of people didn't think TCU would win, man. I don't know who else. I know they got got Baylor one of the next 2 weeks, Dave Aranda. And, of course, they'll have the Big 12 championship, whoever they'll play there. So, man, you want to see them run the table, and I think they will need to go undefeated to get a Big 12 champion in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
But, hey, the way they're playing, man, very well could do it. Very well could do it, Clark. So that's going to be another thing that's keep your eye on to see.
Yep.
Keep your eye on, folks. Watch a lot of football all across the country. A lot of exciting things going on these next few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody's in better shape than the University of Georgia, the team that you cheer for if you're listening to this, man.
That's right.
That's what's exciting about it, man.
That's
you're watching all this unfold. You know where Georgia's at.
Yeah, I mean, we're in regardless.
But you got to win these next two.
Well, yeah.
And you want to win the SEC championship, too.
Yeah,
but
it's
you feel
about
good.
we're doing
you feel
SEC
good.
champion.
Man, we're strutting a little bit, Clark.
Yeah.
We're strutting a little bit. That's a good thing that we're not on the staff or the players.
I know.
Being a media personality.
Yeah.
Media personality.
Are we? Is that what we are promoting?
Amateur media personality.
Amateur, yeah.
The common folks media. We can look ahead. We can look ahead. That's what we do. We can do that. So anyway.
Oh, man. All right, game of the week. Last week, Wabash. Wabash at DePaul. Adam, listen to this. DePaul beat the snot out of Wabash. 49-14.
Gosh. Now, Wabash was a gentleman's school, correct?
Yes.
And they got beat 49-14.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me, DePaul, that the party animals, top 10 in the nation. And then you got Wabash, who is an all-male school.
Right.
No distractions. Gentleman etiquette rule.
Something distracted them.
And they got boat raced by a team that really, just say that school like, man, I'll tell you what.
I have a quote, Adam. I have a quote by head coach Don Morrill from Wabash. He said, they were much more physical on both sides of the ball than we were and played at a higher level than they had all year.
That's on you, coach. That's on you. If you didn't think they were capable of playing at that level, because it's any given Saturday, anybody and their brother knows anything can happen any given Saturday, especially in a game like this, rivalry game, that has a trophy in it, and you play that many times, and you know something can happen like that, and you have to go admit that your tails got whooped on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and that they played at the highest level. Of course, they're going to play at the highest level they have all year. It's the biggest game of the year.
That's right.
It's the biggest game of the year. I mean,
come on, Don.
Wabash boosters really need to
reevaluate Don Morrill's time there.
I mean, that is not a good statement and not a good look. But hey, I mean, clap on him not making excuses. I'm all for taking ownership, Clark. All for taking ownership, man. But that's not good. Not good.
Oh,
wow,
man.
wow. I got that one wrong. I thought it'd be flip flop.
Well, me too.
But anyway,
goodness.
We'll have that.
All right, this week's pick'em: Illinois versus Michigan. 12 o'clock ABC. Adam, we don't have very many good games on this week. Illinois versus Michigan is amongst the best of them, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Bert Belima. Yeah. Brett Belima. I mean, this is a potential rematch for the Big Ten championship.
Really? Wait.
I think Illinois got a shot, but they got beat the other week. I don't know where the Big Ten West is horrendous. Like, it's a terrible division. I don't know. I think Illinois was up in the upper echelon leading the pack. I know they got beat last week, but I still think they're in contention to go ahead and win the Big Ten West.
Wow.
So this could very well be a preview in what we see, but they're probably going to get another loss here, so I don't know what that does for them. But anyway, enough of trying to figure out the Big Ten championship picture.
Yeah.
Michigan is going to boat race them, man.
Yeah. Yeah, give me Michigan by 30.
But Illinois got a respectable defense. But I think Michigan's going to be too much. They're going to run the ball on them.
But who in the world has Illinois played this year?
Nah, that's true.
Illinois? Is it Illinois? Noise?
I just call them Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I say. Illinois.
Silent S, I guess.
I guess. That's what I say anyway.
Illinois.
Silent S. Silent S. We got confirmation. It's a silent S.
Silent S.
Silent S. So give me Michigan 34-10.
All right. I like it, Adam. Boom. TCU at Baylor, 12 o'clock.
Oh, this is a game.
Kickoff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In Waco.
In Waco.
They get a little rowdy in Waco, Clark, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, Chip and Joanna Gaines may be there.
That Baylor, so Baylor kind of been more disappointing coming off their Big 12 championship last year. Don't count out Dave Aranda, man.
Oh.
Don't count out Dave Aranda off of a big emotional win at UT Austin last week. Unfortunately, I'm cheering for the TCU Horned Frogs. That's what they do. Horned Frogs. Yeah. I'm cheering for the Frogs, man. I really am, Clark, because I want to see them in the playoff. But I think Dave Aranda and Baylor are going to beat them.
At noon?
At noon.
In Waco?
Huh. I just don't have a rivalry game. What Baylor has to play for their season, man. Heck, they might even still be in contention to get that second spot in the
I think you're
Big
right.
12 championship, too. Right. So, I don't know. TCU might beat them in the ship, but Baylor, that's going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be a real fun game to watch. Give me Baylor.
Okay, Adam, I like it. I like it.
Baylor in the
That's
upset.
gutsy. Yeah, I'm going to stick with TCU. I don't know why. I don't know. I really, truthfully, I don't know who. I don't have any reasons why I'm picking these.
Just
these Big 12 teams.
Yeah,
it's just like, okay, I'll stick with the favorite. Yeah,
the Frogs, man, but they're playing good D. But it's going to be tough coming off of last week. Going to Baylor at noon, but. We'll see. We'll see what kind of coaching job that Sonny Dykes and staff is going to do down there in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Sonny Dykes and company.
I mean, big time. They got playoff potential on the line, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Go Ants, big rivalry game going to Waco, man. Yeah.
Hey, didn't Baylor upset Oklahoma last year like in a big fashion? And that's when you called Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley. Lincoln.
What I call him? I forgot what I called him.
You called him stupid.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yes. Yeah. Well, he is stupid.
Well, he kind of is, yeah. Maybe they'll get an upset. We'll see. All right, Tennessee at South Carolina, 7 o'clock, ESPN.
Oh, Lord.
This game. You know what? Hold on. Here's what we're going to do for the rest of the season. We're just going to pick Shane Beamer's game. I don't care who. I mean, I know they got.
Give me your score prediction first, then I'll tell you what I think is going to happen.
I think Tennessee's going to absolutely lay it on them. 55 to 55 to 14.
So you don't think they break 60?
No.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be like 52 to 24. 52 to 24. Yeah. Not good in Columbia, man, at home, embarrassing.
God bless.
At night.
Actually, I don't feel bad for him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right. Moving out west, USC at UCLA, 8 o'clock. This is going to be a great game to watch as well.
At the Rose Bowl.
Big
20 people will be there.
Yeah. Also, 20 people. It's kind of sad, honestly, to watch.
They don't care about that in Los Angeles, really man. They got other things to care about. Just go ahead.
Oh, man, this could get good. This could be a sneaky good game. You know what? Give me UCLA. Give me the Bruins, Adam.
Okay. Give me the Trojans, man. That's good. I like that. That's good, Clark. That was really good. Give me the Southern California Trojans, man, setting up for a big-time matchup against Notre Dame to end the season.
Yeah.
And this will clinch them a spot, I believe, in the Pac-12 championship, I think. I think that's safe to say. And potential college football playoff. Give me Caleb Williams and the Trojans going into the Rose Bowl across town to beat Chip Kelly's Bruins.
All right. We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Utah at Oregon, 10:30 ESPN. It's been a good night game for those to watch. This game could have been a lot better.
It could have.
Had Oregon been undefeated, or not undefeated, but with one loss. Adam, I'm going to take Utah. Actually,
yes, me too, Clark.
They are good. That is a good team that I have seen play football this year. Cam Rising and man, that tight end. I can't remember his name, but they have a very good tight end. They use him all the time. Good physical football team.
Yeah,
and man, I don't know how Oregon responds after losing to Washington this week. So
I'm with you, Clark, man. Utah struggled, lost in the swamp to open up the season, man, and definitely hasn't had the season that they thought they potentially could, but that talent is still there. Mm-hmm. A team, Clark, that Utah beat Oregon twice last year, one time in the regular season, one time in the Pac-12 championship. I know that is no indicator and doesn't mean anything for this year, but I don't know, what turnover there has been, but of course some of the same guys are on there. And I think more importantly, though, Clark, my point is coming off of what happened in Austin Stadium last week against Washington, that's a heartbreaking loss, man, especially still playoff chances on the line. I think Utah gets it done against Dan Lannon's boys. And I hate it. I hope Oregon wins, but I'm going with you two with the Utes, Clark.
Yep. All right, Georgia versus Kentucky.
Woo!
Not 7 o'clock.
I like that we got to do that twice.
Yes.
I think we were premature the last time, but that was actually the official spot to do the do the jingle. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm all for doing it twice.
Me too. 3:30 CBS. God bless you folks for listening to Gary Danielson. That's why you say just come to Kentucky.
Yeah, come to Kentucky. And guess what, folks? There's not much longer. Not much longer you have to. because it's about to be over.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that contract.
Just keep bearing with it, man.
Push it through. Oh, man. All right. Score prediction, Adam. I'm going to go Dogs roll
baby.
big in this game. We're gonna get a bunch of touchdowns. We are going to get some style points, Adam. I think it is going to be a fun game.
You think you're going to think we're going to put up some numbers in? Okay.
Yes. And I know, hey, Kentucky has a respectable defense, but give me the Dogs 44-6.
There we go, baby. I love it, Clark. I love it. 10-0, baby. Number 1 team in the nation. Defending national champions.
Yeah.
SEC East champions is what I was looking for this year again, man. Going back to Atlanta in a few weeks. Everything's in front of the table for this football team. Enjoy the ride, baby. Again, I say it every week, Clark, but it's the truth. Just everybody's got to enjoy every single week because it gets more and more special each week. This team improves more and more each week. The excitement level just reaches a fever pitch more and more each week. I'm fired up. You should be too. Going up to Lexington, Kentucky, man. Let's go whoop them. 41-10 Georgia, man. I'm going to go. You got me fired up. 41-10 Georgia. Get ready. A lot of big football is going to be played to end this year, Clark. And we need every Georgia fan to be absolutely juiced in the right mindset. Get this team another national championship, baby. It's time to let the big dog eat. We'll see y'all in Lexington, Kentucky, baby. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!